I'm Srdjan D, professor of social psychology at Banja Luka University. At the same time, I am part of this program from the beginning, so in last 10 years, mainly like a researcher and evaluator. I'm interested for this program from the beginning. There are many interesting things, but for me, something that was interesting on the beginning and was quite innovative for this region, this is probably only program that approaching to the violence from the perspective of our perception of masculinity and gender. Usually here, when we have programs about violence, we are talking about some other factors, but nobody actually came from that approach, from that perspective, how actually can be dangerous, how we perceive what is man, what is masculinity, and how that can determine violence and some other risky behaviors. We are living in quite traditional community. Kids also, like result of that, has quite traditional conservative views about that. What is the role of the man? What is the role of the woman? And sometimes that can have bad results, because young men very often trying to prove their masculinity through some aggressive behavior, through violence toward other young men, other young women, through maybe consuming drugs, alcohol. Through this program, they understanding this process and they overcoming that trap. Results of this program are also manifested through the researches. In last 10 years, we conducted couple surveys. In each survey, we usually had like pre-testing, then some intervention, then post-testing. In some phases, we had also control and experimental group. And on the end, we had similar results. In each end-line survey, we had big progress related to the more gender equal attitudes. Also, committed violence was lower. Knowledge about sexual and reproductive health was higher. So many good results we found out in our previous researches. But that's not just the only advantage of this program. In last couple years, there are some new approaches which are even more developing this project. For example, when I did qualitative research, I figured out how actually it's important this participative approach in this Y program. So nobody's here in this program telling young people what to do, which campaign to implement it. They actually have workshops. In that workshops, they thinking, sharing ideas, what they can do on the field, what can be most useful, and then they implementing that ideas. And of course, result of all that is big ownership of this project by youth, and big identification with main ideas and philosophy of the project. And of course, all that you can see later in the concrete activities, and you can see that young people, young men and women, they are not implementing this project, they are actually living this project.